All right, here we are. Real-Life BPMN, Chapter 3, the Strategic Process Model, which is at the top of the Kamunda house. And you need the strategic process model if you're going to work together on a goal that makes sense for the organization. Yes, people will insist upon more detailed process views, but the strategic view really helps bring everybody on the project together to understand what's happening. People cannot comprehend process models that span multiple pages or that are very long and detailed, especially right off the start of a project. So this is a good way to start with the strategic model and then move towards more detailed technical human interaction models later. So that's one of the tips that the chapter provides, is that put your strategic process model onto a single page and also have 10 or fewer flow objects, just as a good rule of thumb. And I agree with that. That's pretty much what I've observed as well. And I strive to do that, which is to fit the initial models or diagrams to a single page. And I find this works really well also as a handout for having that conversation around the process that you're about to improve. So here is what that looks like. So here's a very simple strategic process model that they use in the book. It's how the human resources goes about hiring and interviewing and selecting candidates for departments and filling positions. So they start that in chapter 3, and then this becomes an example further and further in the book. It discusses in this chapter how to hold your workshops to gain several perspectives at once, to also be aware of the pet variations that people bring, which is really their primary concern around what the process will do and how it impacts them. It talks about how to address that. And it makes a great point, similar to what George E.P. Box, the statistician, made, that essentially all models are wrong, but some are useful. And so there's an adaptive point for process improvement, which is that all process models are incomplete, but some are useful. And this is a great point. I really agree with the comparative metaphor there. And there are several sort of tips throughout the chapter on how to tie these things together. So let me read what notes I made, which is: record the process from start to finish, but keep it within 8 steps at the strategic level. Record only the standard procedure and actually really strive to create the happy path flow of objects and materials. So the standard procedure, and if it all works smoothly, this is how we want things to function, and that's at the strategic level. Record the regular responsibilities. Same kind of thing, keeping with the happy path. We don't want to deviate into, well, I do this when the account is over $300,000, but I also do this other thing when the account is over $500,000. Those aren't really the kinds of things we want to delve into at the strategic level. We also don't want to record the weak points or start devising improvements and changing what we do yet at the strategic mapping level. So controlling that within the conversation and workflow of your groups is, you can help aid that by restricting the symbols, restricting the steps which occur, having the pools and lanes really represent accurately what's happening. So we don't want to have, at the strategic level, we wouldn't want to have a pool for the process engine or the automatic steps of the process just yet. We'd really want to focus on pools and lanes with the human interaction pieces, and then later when we do the technical mapping, we'll bring in the automated portions. Keep those tasks clear and minimize the use of gateways at the strategic level. And this is a great diagram that also shows that. So here you see there are no gateways, there are no decisions and choices being made. This is really big task movements throughout the strategic process modeling phase. A couple things I liked about the chapter. There are some other little diagrams and pages which show you what to do, what not to do when you're modeling a gateway and certain behavior. There are also additional points about conversations. Some details in the chapter talks about the use of artifacts like Microsoft Excel, how you hide and reveal symbols, and that kind of wraps up that these strategy maps help us search for causes, but the process manager, the customer, and the process participants are also needed. So yes, we are looking for some causal relationships, but we're trying to involve everyone in the strategic process in order to do that. This is one of the shortest chapters in the book, and so that's why my review is fairly short of this chapter, and more to come with chapters 4 and 5. Okay, bye for now.